Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's change of command ceremony on YouTube Live, where Lieutenant Colonel Richard Kin will relinquish command of the 321st Contingency Response Squadron to Lieutenant Colonel Mark Berthelot. I am Master Sergeant Elizabeth Combs, your Master of Ceremonies for today. Throughout military history, soldiers in the field oftentimes could not identify their own commanders. Recognizing this problem, the Continental Army of the United States conducted the first official change of command ceremony. Today, just as in the past, the formal change of command allows airmen to witness the actual transfer of command between two officers and see their new commander firsthand. Shortly, the 321st Contingency Response Squadron Guidon will be passed from Lieutenant Colonel Kin to Lieutenant Colonel Berthelot, signifying the official change of command. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the playing of the national anthem and the invocation.
Battery medium, connected to north by hand and north by head.
Let's bow our heads for the invocation. Gracious God, we ask your blessing upon all who are gathered here and pray that you will be with us as the transfer of responsibilities. Inspire us with your wisdom that we may appreciate the true nature of command and the serious consequences that flow from it. May the spirit of justice, care, concern, and dedications to duty be Lieutenant Colonel Kin's legacy to the men and women of the 321st Contingency Response Squadron. May you continue to be with him and his family as they leave to serve others. We pray for your support for Lieutenant Colonel Berthelot as he assumes the burdens of command. Strengthen him so one day he too may look back with pride and delight on his legacy. Thank you, God, for this day and the men and women of the families of the 321st Contingency Response Squadron. Look kindly on all who are assembled here and back at home. Keep us faithful in our duties and make us worthy examples for those who follow. In your name we pray. Amen. Please be seated. At this time, we would like to recognize our official party, distinguished visitors, and honored guests. Please hold all applause until the end. Our presiding officer and the commander of the 621st Contingency Response Group, Colonel Gregory Cyrus. The commander of the 321st Contingency Response Squadron, Lieutenant Colonel Richard Kin and his wife Jill, and their daughter Lillian. The incoming commander, Lieutenant Colonel Mark Berthelot, his wife Alyssa, and their children Will, Marion, Liam, and Karis. The commander of the 621st Contingency Response Wing, Colonel Douglas Jackson. The command chief of the 621st Contingency Response Wing, Chief Master Sergeant Tony Jenkins. The superintendent of the 621st Contingency Response Group, Chief Master Sergeant Stephen Dirksen. Also, we are privileged to have with us today commanders, senior enlisted leaders, and first sergeants representing the 621st Contingency Response Wing who are joining us live today. Ladies and gentlemen, Colonel Cyrus.
All right, good morning, everyone. Sorry for the delay, but as you can see from the limited number of people in this room and the space in between us, this is going to be a very unique change of command ceremony. However, thanks to our talented public affairs team, we're going to ensure those of you at home in your pajamas at 10:15 on Friday still have the opportunity to observe this event in real time. And for those of you that are listening in on YouTube Live that are unfamiliar with a typical change of command in this wing, I want you to know we consistently struggle to find room in our respective global reach deployment centers for people at these events. We typically pack the house at these events. However, regardless of the small in-person audience, given the restrictions placed upon us in the current operating environment, it's a great day for the 621st Contingency Response Wing, the 621st Contingency Response Group, and the 321st Contingency Response Squadron. As we pass the mantle of command between the officers on stage and to my left. Obviously, we're appropriately spaced per direction from senior leadership, and for those of you that are familiar with change of command ceremonies, you'll notice some subtle changes in order to facilitate that guidance. Today, the 321st celebrates virtually, but with no less excitement than normal, honoring their outgoing command team, Lieutenant Colonel Rick Toto Ken and his wife Jill, and even little Lillian, while at the same time welcoming their new commander, Lieutenant Colonel Mark Berthelot and his family, Alyssa, Will, Marin, Liam, and Karis to the Griffin family. Colonel Jackson, sir, thank you for being here today. Thank you for your leadership and guidance throughout the year, but especially during the past few months, which has been an extremely critical time in our nation's history. Chief Jenkins, thank you for being here as well. Your sound advice and leadership has been instrumental in our ability to succeed at the mission and take care of our airmen and our families. To all other commanders, honorary commanders, chiefs, first sergeants, key spouses, airmen of the CRW, family members, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for attending or watching live on the YouTube channel. While I'm no professional YouTuber, I know I have a captive audience today and for the next few minutes. Maybe we can even get enough subscribers via the Devil Raiders and other supporters for this communication medium to build a booster club funding stream channel. In all seriousness though, and before I go any further, I'd like to say a very special thank you to Jill and to little Lillian, even though she was just recently born, because Rick was only able to accomplish what he did and support and take care of airmen and the mission the way he did, because you were there by his side, behind the scenes, and provided a vital role as his wingman. So thank you for your support and your sacrifices over the last couple of years. Both of the leaders sitting up here today have demonstrated an exceptional ability to lead and to inspire. Both have shown that they are committed to building an environment of trust and respect, and both have demonstrated that they can be trusted with the Air Force's most important asset and weapon system, our airmen and our families. This is the primary reason why leadership selected these two officers for command roles. As for Rick, he's been in the CRW for quite a while now. He's brought with him a wealth of operational experience to both the 621st and 321st Contingency Response Squadrons, and has been a champion of CR ever since joining the Devil Raider family in 2016. Leading up to his squadron command tour, Rick served as a C-17 aircraft commander at Joint Base Charleston, South Carolina, where he quickly rose to instructor pilot. Recognizing his potential early on, the C-17 community selected Rick for weapons instructor course and upgraded him to evaluator pilot while at Joint Base Lewis McChord in Washington. Following his assignment in Washington, leadership flowed Rick to U.S. AFRICOM in Germany, where he excelled as a branch chief and executive officer and departed as a fully qualified joint qualified officer. Not wanting to keep Rick out of the aircraft for too long, he was selected for the coveted Director of Operations role at the C-17 Weapons Instructor Schoolhouse right here at Joint Base McGuire-Dix-Lakehurst. That was probably the best move for the CRW because we were able to steal him and bring him over into the CR community from across the street. Rick served just under 2 years as the DO in the 621st CRS and just over 2 years as the commander in the 321st CRS. And my takeaway for this is he was instrumental in the group's successes and the wing successes over the last 4 years and will have a lasting impact for years to come. From being the Joint Operations Center Director and the pre-commander for the humanitarian assistance and disaster relief operation for Hurricane Matthew in Haiti, to training and preparing CR Airmen during Mobility Guardian 2017 and various alert cycles and turbo distribution events, Rick has never stopped. And while ensuring mission success, he always kept focus on his airmen and their families. Besides accomplishing the mission, one of the key metrics for successful command is continuous improvement and the ability to leave the unit better than you found it. Well, I can tell you right now, Rick and Jill crushed it. Together, they led over 160 airmen across 20 functional areas charged with opening and operating air bases around the world in both permissive and up to uncertain environments. Rick, you and Jill, and the airmen and families of the 321st can rest assured that you met and exceeded all expectations. Now, this isn't the end of the story for the Kin family. Rick's been selected for duty at the Pentagon, where he'll work for the Operations Directorate and Headquarters, U.S. Air Force. And he was even recently interviewed for a position as the Junior Executive Officer for the Chairman. We wish you the best of luck, Rick. I'm pretty sure we'll see you again in the future as a potential group or vice wing commander in Air Mobility Command. Now, in a few minutes, I'll transfer the burden of command to a new leader. Mark and Alyssa, it's your turn. The Berthelot family is on track to dedicate just as much time as the Kin family did, with almost 2 years of experience in the CR already. Mark is bringing a wealth of experience to the 321st as the wing's current Chief of Safety and Director of Staff. And this isn't the first time I've worked with Mark, and I won't hold it against him that he's left the best aircraft and community in the world, the C-130H, in order to transition over to the KC-135. But that breadth of knowledge, coupled with his Air Operations Center background, Mark's going to be the perfect leader to foster the integration we need in this wing amongst our diverse mission sets. We're excited for the squadron and look forward to supporting Mark's command tour. We know he's going to continue to grow the unit and take care of his airmen. Thank you. If I can now have Rick join me on the stage to present his medal.
Thank you, Colonel Cyrus.
Publish the order.
Attention to orders. Lieutenant Colonel Richard K. Kin distinguished himself in the performance of outstanding service to the United States as Commander, 321st Contingency Response Squadron, 621st Contingency Response Group, 621st Contingency Response Wing, Joint Base McGuire-Dix, Lakehurst, New Jersey. During this period, Colonel Kin expertly led rapid response readiness for 159 personnel, directly supporting rapid global mobility and the Secretary of Defense Immediate Response Force capability. Under his command, the 321st Contingency Response Squadron advised, directed, and projected air power to 5 continents, synchronized contingency response planning across 5 combatant commands, and interacted with industry and technology leaders to advance full spectrum readiness. Colonel Kin's leadership enabled the rapid deployment of 90 personnel, supporting United States Central Command's emerging requirement to open and operate an air base to counter malign actors and develop strategic partnerships. Additionally, his focus on innovation and teamwork drove the deployment of the wing's first self-assessment dashboard, empowering his team to effectively communicate deficiencies and mitigate mission risks. Finally, he prepared future leaders by authoring the Air Force Tactics, Techniques, and Procedures, Contingency Response Tactical Doctrine, synchronizing teams across 3 major commands, and increasing the community's response and assessment capability. The singularly distinctive accomplishments of Colonel Kin reflect great credit upon himself and the United States Air Force. Ladies and gentlemen, Lieutenant Colonel Kin.
Well, good morning, YouTube Live and all Griffins who are out there. Colonel Cyrus, thank you for those kind words. I appreciate you taking the time during this busy period to officiate the ceremony. I truly never imagined that my change of command ceremony would be in front of only a handful of people, but streamed live via social media. But as you can see, in accordance with CDC, we limited the number of people here, and we are practicing the proper social distancing. Although we are streaming live on YouTube, I truly regret I cannot personally shake the hands and thank the incredible men and women of the 321 CRS. It is amazing how far we as a squadron have come in just over 2 years. I would like to start by thanking my family who are with me here today. Jill, thank you for your continued love and support. I cannot imagine today without you and Lily. I look forward to continuing the adventure down in DC. Also, thank you for this haircut. Colonel Jackson, Colonel Cyrus, thank you for the trust, the mentorship, the long leash, and allowing me to command the best squadron in the Air Force. And events like this don't just happen. There's a tremendous amount of time and energy put into planning, executing, and taking care of last-minute changes. Captain Duran and Master Sergeant Collins, thank you for leading this effort. You have worked very hard in making the original change of command and this non-standard one look easy and very professional. Just over 2 years ago, I was blessed to take command of the 321 Contingency Response Squadron. Taking command of the mighty Griffin Guidon is something I will never forget. Every day I came to work, sometimes in sub-zero temperatures, and was inspired by each and every one of you. You are the reason the 321 CRS has earned such an amazing reputation. There's a reason that one of our mottos is only the best make it to the 4th floor. The work the airmen of the 321 do every day and every month is just incredible. Here's a quick sample, and this is just the tip of the iceberg. It all starts with training, non-stop training, ensuring every airman was fully trained and ready to accomplish the mission to standard safely every time, everywhere. Maintenance support on a flight line somewhere in the world, air traffic controllers in the McGuire Tower, vehicle maintainers helping the 87th Air Base Wing, multiple lines of fire here in the GRDC warehouse, live fire training on the Dix Ranges, integrated defense training led by our cops, sending 2 to 3 person port teams led by a team chief around the world to support the global mobility enterprise. Equipment working in standardization groups, landing zone training on semi-prepared runways, heavy load training with 305th Air Mobility Wing, night vision goggle training, staff assessment visits, inspections, supporting the air advisor missions, developing future exercise desired learning objectives, sending experts to COCOM planning conferences, and developing TTPs. I also can't forget the countless JRTCs, turbo distributions, mobility exercises, mobility guardians, and alert cycles. And I'm tired just thinking about it. Over the last 2 years in the 321 CRS, we have worked with the Army, the Navy, Marine Corps, the British, the Canadians, South Koreans, and even to continue to evolve the CR way of thinking. We are currently working to close the math cap gap by having CR airmen work fighter aircraft. We were far from perfect in the 321. We had our highs and our lows, but it was the airmen that helped me create a continuously improving and caring professional organization based on confidence and capability, heritage, and demonstrated care of airmen and their families. I am proud of our championship team that succeeds because of individual competence and commitment to integrity, service, and excellence. Now, this change of command is bittersweet as my family and I transition on. As Colonel Cyrus mentioned, I've been in the CRW for just over 4 years. I was privileged to see airmen come and go, and go, and go, and go. And in some cases, like Colonel Cyrus, come back. I will miss each and every one of you and the incredible mission you perform to help protect our nation's freedom. Griffins, I am truly privileged to hand over command to a true leader and friend. As a prior CRSSDO, Wing Chief of Safety and Director of Staff, Lieutenant Colonel Berthelot is the perfect choice to lead the squadron to the next level. Mark, as you already know, the 321 has only been around since 2015. You will be only the 4th Griffin commander. One of our traditions is to pass down the commander's pin. And I'm going to leave it up here for you. This commander's pin has been worn by every Griffin commander, and today I pass it on to you. I wish you and your family the absolute best as you join the Griffin family and lead this squadron into the future. Finally, Griffins. Above all else, I have loved the talks, the discussions, and mentoring sessions. It has been a pleasure getting to know you and your families. If any of you ever want to just chat, need help, or want to simply bounce an idea off of me, I will always be available for you. Remember, once a Griffin, always a Griffin. Thank you, and God bless.
Please stand for the change of command ceremony.
Publish the order.
Attention to orders. Under the provisions of the Air Force Instruction 51-604 and Special Order Number G-20-0004, Lieutenant Colonel Richard K. Kinn relinquishes command of the 321st Contingency Response Squadron to Lieutenant Colonel Mark W. Berthelot, effective 8 May 2020, signed Colonel Gregory Cyrus, Commander, 621st Contingency Response Group.
Sir, I relinquish command.
Sir, I assume command.
All right.
Please be seated. It is my honor to introduce to you the commander of the 321st Contingency Response Squadron, Lieutenant Colonel Berthelot.
Good morning, everybody here in the audience and everybody here on YouTube. Colonel Jackson, Chief Jenkins, thank you very much for your leadership and your help over the past few years. It's been great, even with our work in Germany. Thank you. Colonel Cyrus, Chief Durkin, thank you very much for your help here in the CRG. It's been a lot of help. You helped mentor Lieutenant Berthelot, and now it's Colonel Berthelot, so thank you for being a part of it today. Colonel Kinn, what a great example of a leader and what it means to be a mentor to a young officer coming up. So as a DO here in the squadron, not really knowing what CR was, you helped me out, took me on a lot of good rides, and you helped kind of instruct me. So thank you very much over the past few years. I'm going to keep it together. Alyssa, Will, Maren, Liam, Karis, thank you very much. And your support over these last 15 years, just not at this assignment, but Germany, Alabama, Texas, Little Rock, New Hampshire, oh yeah, it's all over the place. Thank you, I appreciate it. These next 2 years are gonna be amazing, and I can't wait to see what we're gonna do. Finally, to the men and women of the 321st, from the hot, sweaty tents of JRTC to the cold, frigid dirt strips of AP Hill and Northfield, you've been a part of every upgrade ride I've had in CR, both as a CREDO and then a CRED commander for my check rides. You helped me grow as a CR officer, and I look forward to working together as a team and seeing what we can do in the future. Command is a great privilege. I'm honored and truly humbled by the responsibility serving as your leader. I will ensure that the mission is set, priorities are set, that we're ready to answer the nation's call. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you again. May God continue to honor this country, my family, our unit in the United States of America. Thank you.
The members of the 321st Contingency Response Squadron are delighted to have Lieutenant Colonel Berthelot, his wife Alyssa, and his children, Will, Marion, Liam, and Karis, join our family. The men and women of the 321st Contingency Response Squadron are proud to have served with Lieutenant Colonel Kinn and wish him, his wife Jill, and their daughter Lillian good luck as they prepare for a PCS to the Pentagon in Washington, D.C. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's ceremony. Thank you again for joining us from afar and at home. We hope you can join us and welcome Lieutenant Colonel Berthelot and his family once we have returned from social distancing. Please stand for the playing of the Air Force song.
Into the wild blue yonder, flying high into the sun. Here they come, soon to meet our thunder. Adam Ward's giving the gun. Give it a gun! Hey! Down we dive, spouting our flames from under. Off with one hell of a roll. We live in fame, we're down in fight. Hey! Nothing can stop the U.S. Air Force.